The last thing that we're going to talk about in this module is the idea of app pirating. This is something that all Android developers should at least be aware of because Android apps really aren't very difficult to sideload. We talked about sideloading earlier, but in case you forgot, sideloading basically means to install an app onto an Android device without downloading it from an app store. And basically anyone who can get your APK file can install your app. Now, some models of pricing are going to be hurt more than others with this, especially direct pricing. If your app is being sold for some dollar value and someone can just take a copy of your app without purchasing it and put it on their phone or their Android device, that's obviously going to hurt you a lot more than if you're using some monetization model like in-app advertising, which is going to work even if they stole your app. Now, the good news is that app pirating can be prevented to some degree. Different markets have different security mechanisms. There's some security mechanisms in the Google Play market as well as the Amazon App Store. And many times, in order to implement these, you have to implement them directly in your app. And you can also try and create your own security mechanisms, but I wouldn't really recommend this. Another way to get around this though is to just do something simple in your app, like make your app call some server that you own. Then you have control over the app itself because that app isn't going to work very well if it can't access your server. Now obviously this isn't going to work for apps that have to work offline, but if your app is going to need to be connected anyway, you can control the security through there. Another approach that I've seen is to go ahead and try to detect if the app was stolen and let them have that copy of the app, but just disable a few features. You're basically then turning your app into a light version if it's been pirated, and it can actually result in you selling the full version of the app. In many cases though, you don't even really have to worry about app pirating, especially if you're selling your app for 99 cents or some low dollar amount, because it's not really going to be worth the trouble. Who's going to go through all that trouble of trying to steal an app and sideload that app just to save 99 cents? Now, if you're selling an app that costs $99, you might have a different story though.